Welcome back to the Stoop Football Fans. It's your boy Lolo, and I know it is still daytime, and I'm inside the late night studio, but that's because it is freezing cold and raining outside, and I didn't have all the time to build all the coverage for it. But trust me, we'll be back out on the stoop before you know it. Kicking around in the kiddie pool once the summer weather starts to kick in. So good to see everybody here already. All the Stoop crew who's in the house, who've been in here chatting away. Via Martine, I believe you were first today. We got Ben Ireland, Ben Arizona Leeds, head of the Arizona Leeds fan club, if you're there. And Mr. Tom, good to see you. Jimmy Bremer's Ghost. Director John is backstage. BxGunner, good to see you as well. He's looking forward to the South American qualifiers that are coming up tonight. We got a big match between the U.S. national team and the U.S. men's national team and Mexico, which has huge implications for qualifying for both countries. So that should be great at 10 o'clock. Potentially doing a post-match of that tonight if I'm still awake. So we'll see how the rest of the evening goes. Karen C., I see you on there. Mo Master, I see you here. I know we did a little bit of La Liga content, but not anything that you would like, I would suppose, Mo Master. So sorry about that. But we'll be bringing you more of that as the seasons progress. Bondi, good to see you. Scott Newby, good to see you as well. Let's get to it. Conche as well. The last one in there to get a little shout out before I start talking. So today, yes, as I said, we have been talking a little bit about La Liga because we had the TV outside and we watched El Clasico, but now it's time to get back to some Premier League action. And yes, we're on international breaks, so right now we're all just watching all the international teams going, please don't hurt any of my players. Please don't hurt any of my players. And for Leeds United, gotta say, not too many players out there on international duty right now that you have to fear about. You guys are more focused on everything that's going on surrounding your club, and that's what we're talking about today. Yes, we do have waiting in the wings, the man, the myth, the legend, James Lufk Reeves, as we've referred to him. So don't forget, before he comes out, hit that like button, hit the share button, send it out on WhatsApp, send it out on to somebody you know that watches Leeds United. We're finally doing Leeds United show. You never got to see James? Here he is. You're getting an hour of straight up James. Mark isn't even here because tomorrow's his birthday, so his girl is giving him a whole week of birthday fun. So it's just me. I'm going to shut up in a minute and let James talk all about it. But first off, Jesse Marsch, first 4 matches in action for the outlaw, as I like to call him. And he's done okay. You guys lost the first 2 matches, but then 2 last-second winners. Just incredible football to watch if you only watch the last 10 minutes of each of these matches, or the last 20 minutes, 30 minutes of the Wolves match. But some good signs here, some signs that it's not going to be a whole switch from the Marcelo Bielsa side. It's going to be an adaptation of what he has already built. Now, I think Jesse Marsch is starting to win some Leeds fans over with his post-match interviews, with his demeanor on the pitch, off the pitch, his interaction with fans. But I want to know what you guys think about it. So put it all in the comments. And if you guys have questions for James, get them in here now, and we'll try to answer all of that. But enough out of me. It's time to bring him on. You guys have been demanding his presence for weeks and weeks and weeks, but I know he's down in New Orleans. He's had a big house move. He's had work. He's had Mardi Gras. There's tornadoes, all sorts of stuff happening down there in New Orleans. But he's back with internet access and a Leeds scarf on him. Let's get him in here. Mr. James Reeves, everybody.
Right.
Yay!
Yep.
Yay! Keep it down, guys. We're live. We're live, okay? Put in the comments.
Yeah, Lolo, it's 75 degrees right now, not a cloud in the sky. So that's 25, to 30 degrees Celsius down here. So it's, it's gorgeous, man. It's absolutely
nice,
beautiful
man.
day.
Well, good.
So we could
I'm
have
glad.
done this outside in the backyard, but unfortunately it's overgrown and, damaged by tornadoes. So.
Well, when the next time I'm down in New Orleans, which should be in November, I should be down for a wedding in November, but I'll come to your backyard and we'll set you up a stoop. We'll get you a New Orleans, New Orleans stoop.
I have a stoop in the front.
I'll
so
get
he
it
can
set
sit in the
up, and I'll
front.
show you where your lighting should be, and
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
get
yeah,
you all set up
yeah.
there with that. Teach you how to use the microphones I sent you years ago.
Yep.
Um,
I'll
but
defer to your
James,
expertise.
James, so good to see you. And I know you wanted to talk after the first couple of matches, but it's better, I think. Now we have 4 matches of
Yeah.
the Jesse Marsch era, the all outlaw era. And so what are your, like, just, we haven't spoken in a while. Yeah, there he is with his gun belt and everything. I don't know if you guys saw him, but this is how he shows up on the pitch. He's like, calm down before
Right.
I shoot you. I'm from
Yeah.
America. But James, so run through his whole era for you. Talk to me about when he first arrived, the way he first started taking over the team, meetings with the press, pre-match, post-match, all of that, and then let's run through those games. You know, the first ones we can run through fairly quickly, and then we'll go from there. But tell me your initial thoughts on his whole appointment.
Yeah, well, my first exposure to him was with New York Red Bulls. So I know of his career at New York Red Bulls. I lived in New York, and every now and then we'd hop the train over to Harrison and watch the Red Bulls play. Um, but yeah, I mean, I know that that the Red Bull group thought highly of him, highly enough to get him over to their major clubs, which are Leipzig and Salzburg, and give him some a lot of responsibility there. So they thought highly of him. He's known for developing players. A lot of players who came up through those two systems really admire him and worship him, including someone like Holland. So it's a
Yeah.
so it works. I mean, I think that we have a team that's obviously going to be built on youth in the future. Orta's come out and said that he wants an 18-person squad with supplemented by maybe 4 or 5 guys from the under 23s. So this is going to be, I think, the future of Leeds, at least for the time being, and that is developing youth players, which Marsh does well, and identifying talent, which apparently he also does really well. And
Yeah.
that's the two things that we need. And as far as his reception in Leeds, I mean, obviously there's going to be skepticism. I mean, whenever an American takes over any sort of, high profile job in football, you're going to have doubters. And that's without question that's going to happen. So, but I think that after a while, I think his style is starting to win people over because, man, the guy has got enthusiasm to burn. I mean, he is, a rah-rah type of guy. He's a player's manager. I think that's what we needed after Bielsa. And look, I knew of Bielsa prior to his arrival at Leeds through Chile because I told you I have family in Chile. Yeah. I knew him at Marseille, so I mean, I knew what Marcelo was bringing to the table, and great manager, a lot of pedigree, an influential manager, a guy who's influenced some of the top managers in the game. Marsh is more of sort of a young up and comer, but also with there's a substantial, background for him, and I think that he's starting, gradually to win people over. I mean, I think he's going to fall in love with Leeds. I mean, who wouldn't? And like I fell in love with Leeds, almost 35 years ago.
Yeah, you got to say it's a little bit of a difference for a guy like Marcelo coming from Argentina and Spain and everywhere. Jesse Marsch, I know I put him in cowboy gear and I call him the outlaw and all that, but he's from Wisconsin, as somebody mentioned. He's a cheesehead, so he's got to be going. The weather in Leeds is fantastic, right? As opposed to Marcelo.
Here. What are people talking about? English weather,
He's walking around in T-shirts. He's doing all right. But so you think he's doing the right things with the fans? Because so much of Leeds United is not just about the football. It's about the culture. It's about the fan base. It's about the city. That was what made Marcelo Bielsa so loved. Was he would walk around town. He would go to the bodega, whatever the version, the little deli, the markets or whatever, and he would stop for photos with people while he was thinking and ride his bike and things like that. So, and that's part of why Marcelo Bielsa is going to be loved in Leeds forever.
Yeah. No, exactly.
Forever. So
I mean, we'll always love Bielsa. Always. I mean, we'll revere him That's never going to change.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think that the team needed a players manager after Bielsa. I think they needed a guy who interacts with the players, who's maybe closer to their age, who not so distant. I mean, Bielsa was part of the community, which is great, and I think that eventually, you know, Marsch will be somewhat similar, but I mean, not to the extent that Bielsa was. I mean, Bielsa completely just immersed himself and living in that area in Yorkshire. You know, we'll see what Marsch does. I don't envision him as a person who would keep his distance or remain aloof from the fans. I mean, he's met with fans. He went with supporters groups. That was one of the first things he did, like in the first couple of weeks there. And you saw we had the Leicester match where, you know, we should have gotten something from that where we dominated. Then the Aston Villa match, which was, you know, not so good. I mean, so it was some really bad football. And then, you know, all of a sudden you see, you know, how he rebounds from that, and the team just has like a sense of belief, I believe, you know, I think, and he's restored that, and I think that's what we needed. I think we needed somebody who, you know, hugs the players, who goes up to them, and, you know, I don't know, slaps them, you know, in the back and that sort of thing, and that's what they needed. They needed some sort of reassurance because look, it wasn't great. I mean, you know, those games, those matches under, you know, Bielsa prior to Marsch's arrival are not great. I mean, you know, losing by 6-0 and out and 7-0 score lines. I don't care who you're playing. That's pretty bad. And, you know, I think the players were starting to lose belief in themselves. I mean, you saw that at Tottenham. I mean, I think, you know, you saw a team that virtually was quitting at Tottenham. And I think Orda noticed that. I think Kinnear noticed that. I think Grads noticed that and said, look, you know, we got to make a change. A change has to be on the horizon here. And, so, you know.
Yeah, so my big issue with getting rid of Marcelo Bielsa was, and I feel it was a lot of Leeds fans' fears, was that, you know, just the idea of getting rid of your manager mid-season. And not just any manager. It's not like Mourinho came in for 1 year and did some stuff. Okay, now we're going to Conte. We're going to somebody else. Like that, Somebody who actually, Bielsa changed the system from top to bottom to the 3-year-olds that you guys are looking at. So my fear was, what if Leeds United get rid of Marcelo Bielsa and decide to splash a ton of cash on a Conte type who's going to come in and disregard everything that's happened and try and start from scratch. But I feel what we've gotten is somebody who wants to build on, like, who is not saying, okay, thank you for your work, Marcelo, get out, I have my own way of doing things. He's going, all right, what do we got? What do I have to work on? And one of the first things he said was, usually when a manager comes in and takes over a team mid-season, the first thing you have to regain is the energy and the effort. Yeah, and he's like, that I didn't have to touch. That was already there, top to bottom. All I need to change, and it feels like what everybody's saying in the comments here is, like Mr. Tom said, he seems like a life coach who happens to be a football manager.
Exactly.
He seems like, look, guys, you're already there. Yeah. You're already so close. Let's just work on some of these things and maybe be a little bit less of a vamos carajo and more of a come on, guys, you can do it.
Yeah.
Let's have a smoothie after practice, you know. But I feel like that's the things that are happening. And yes, Karen C, right there, he's respectful of what's gone before. And I feel Jesse Marsch understands the club that he's coming into. He's not coming into a newly promoted side. He's not coming into he's not coming into Derby County or even Watford or one of these. He's coming into he's coming into a club. He's coming into a club with more history than American football. Mm-hmm. Even NFL, you know, like he's coming into a club that is way bigger than him.
Yes.
So I think he understands it, and I feel from an outsider's perspective that he's doing things right. And if I had him step in the middle of a season as manager, okay, I think I could breathe for a second. You know, is that the overall sentiment?
That's how I feel. Yeah, I mean, I look, he's winning me over gradually. I was in favor of Bielsa staying for at least up until this point, the international break.
Yeah.
Seeing what he could do up until the international break, and then making a decision. It was obvious that team morale was low, and that the Brain Trust wanted to make a move as quickly as possible, and they did. I wasn't happy with the move originally, but I've come to kind of accept it. Yeah. And now, I think that Marsch is the perfect person for what we needed.
Yeah, and I mean, truth be told, like, let's look at these last 4 matches. Truth be told, Marcelo Bielsa you guys could have won 2 of these 4 with Marcelo Bielsa. So you could have gotten to this. It was just getting scary seeing further and further, worse defeats and worse defeats. And then, so you can imagine if these 2 results happened, a 1-0 to Leicester and then a 3-0 to Aston Villa, he probably would have been gone anyway after that. But Jesse Marsch has allowed those 2 matches as some building blocks. And then you come in and there's some really gutsy wins at the last second with changes that he made.
But Lolo, we lost some pretty shite teams under Bielsa too down the stretch. I mean, Newcastle, Everton, that match was hideous. That was probably, to me at least, that was uglier than the Aston Villa match that we lost under Marsch. I'll give Marsch a pass on that one, sort of, that he was new. He just came into the team. He really, he's kind of learning the players and what they can do. But that loss to Everton was absolutely, disgraceful.
Yeah.
So you say what you want, but that was bad.
And then you guys, so let's fast forward to the Wolves match, because the Wolves match, to me, yes, it's this incredible story of, going down 2-0, and you guys, according to the pundits, the commentators, that it's his birthday tomorrow, so he's out drinking right now.
Fuck that man. Look, I'm telling you, now I don't know if I can call him Spawny anymore, because I think that his luck has finally run out. His Wolves' luck against Leeds ran out that day. That's for sure.
It really did.
So no more Spawny. He's kind of just
talk about his mark. A new manager having to do everything, having to show everything in that match. You had 4 substitutes, 5 substitutes, 4?
Yeah, 4, I think, right? 4. 4. That were forced upon us.
You lose your striker and your keeper. Your front and your back are gone. Yeah. You're down by two goals in the first half. According to the commentators, you guys were relegated. Like, they were done at halftime. Yeah. It was Leeds are relegated, done and dusted. Jesse Marsch has ruined his career because he's come in and blah, 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 blah. And so he makes these changes. And yes, it was the team. It was the players on the pitch who did it. But he went into halftime and said something to him. He said something to him because they came out different. They came out different, and they caused an error in the head of Raul, which can happen. Right. And, that's a near 50-50. They could have, a split second later, and it could have been Meslier coming off.
Yeah, but come on.
But it wasn't. They looked at it forever.
So we're always on the wrong end of the 50-50s. So I'm fine.
Oh, listen to Mark. He'd say the same thing. But what I'm saying is that match, what a match to show who you are as a manager, right? Mm-hmm. Not only do you have to come back from 2 goals down to a team who is, for all the shit we're giving Mark, Wolves are a better team than you guys this season.
Oh, yeah.
Wolves are a tough squad this season. Nobody scores 3 goals against them. That was the first time anyone scored 3 on them this season. But what a match for a manager to show what he can do. And then it's going into the international break. He has some time with the guys. I know Dan James is over, and congratulations. I heard Wales just progressed, or at least got to the final, to the finals of the qualifying. and
Yep.
Italy are out. You win the Euros and you don't make it to the World Cup. 2 World Cups in a row. Jesus,
They drew what
Italy.
they drew with North Macedonia.
Oh, solo mio.
Alioski. I know.
Man, did
But
they draw or they lost?
I thought they drew. There was
No,
zero
they
zero when I
lost.
was
They
watching.
lost 1-0. North
Oh wow, they
Macedonia
lost.
scored.
Oh my God. I
Yeah,
saw
it
that they were.
was
I mean, when I
it
was
wasn't
watching, it
Alioski.
was 0-0.
In the 90 minute plus 2, they scored and won. So
Oh
good.
fuck me, that's
Made me
crazy. All
$90. I
right.
put a $5 bet on North Macedonia at like 80 minute. Made me $90. So happy for that.
I'm happy that yeah, fuck the
So
Italians. Yeah, that's good.
so how are you feeling in this international break right now? You've got a little bit of time for people to get healthy. Marsh doesn't seem to believe that the injuries to Patrick Bamford or to Melier are that big. So, how are you feeling right now as a Leeds fan? You
I'm
hopeful?
feeling really
You
positive.
you still
I'm
see
feeling
a
very confident.
relegation
We
battle?
come out of it. We take care of business against Southampton. Yeah, I mean, Watford's going to be a big match. I mean, if we beat Watford, that's a 6-pointer right there. So those 2 matches, I think, really will tell the tale. And then, of course, I was going to be there for Chelsea. And what happened? The fucking FA, man. They fucked my
Wait.
trip to ER, to Ellen Road, to church.
Oh no. Oh no. What
I'm
so
still
so
going,
you're
though. I'm still going. I'm
there's
still
no
going to
match?
Leeds. I will be in Leeds visiting friends. So I'm still having like a little get together of the Stoop crew one night when I'm in Leeds. So I'll definitely post on where it's going to be, and we can sit around, have a little symposium, drink some pints, and talk about the club.
Fantastic.
Are we
And
setting up
yeah, so
a
that'd be good.
GoFundMe for bail?
For bail money. So
Man,
guys,
so when I was there in the '80s, it was funny because supporting Leeds was always a problem because of of old Bill and the cops, and so I was always afraid of being deported by the West Yorkshire police force because of people I knew and activities that I participated in at Leeds matches. So it was like, all right, well, if I get deported, I get deported. I mean, the next thing you know, but who knows? So deportation is what I'm more concerned about
wow.
than enjoying
So
my trip to England.
So, guys, James will be there in April. So make sure you go to onthestupidlolo.com and sign up in the discussion groups. We have a Leeds United only discussion group. You can stay in touch with all the Stoop crew members. But also, James will be posting where he's going to be, where the party's going to be at, all sorts of things, and if he
Yeah.
needs help getting out of jail.
And I
So,
need, yes, definitely. And I need, so anybody with any sort of influence with the West Yorkshire police, please help me out. But no, yeah, and also any sort of curry suggestions, because I used to go, when I was in Leeds, I used to go to a place called Chalkwalls. I was close to the university. And then I went to a place called the Corner Cafe, which was over by the Fox and Newt on Kirkstall Road. Those are all gone now. So I need curry suggestions. So I need somebody to step up here.
all right. Well,
Late night curry, man. Late night
all right.
curry.
We hope to talk to you a lot when you're over in Leeds.
I
So
hope
so
so.
let's move on a little bit. And James, I
I
know
am
you
going
want
to the
to.
Palace match, though. I will be at the Palace match in London.
Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this. I want to talk about conspiracy theories because your team has been surrounded by conspiracy theories right
Can I
now.
grab a beer
Especially,
first?
yeah.
Okay, I'll be back in a second. I can hear you, though.
Okay. So I want to talk about these conspiracy theories because anytime Americans are involved in international sports, especially football, you start hearing how, oh, it's the American money, the American ownership. Look at what they're doing. They wanted Bielsa out so they could bring Marsch in early, and now Rads is gone, and now so and so's gone, and Rafinha's already signed for Barcelona. James, what are some of these conspiracy theories that you've heard? Do any of them have any validity to them? How do you feel about them?
I've heard all of them. None of them have any validity. And I will say that, look, Orta and Kinnear and Rads have a vision for Leeds, right? When they look at Leeds, what do they see? They don't see, Man City. They don't see Chelsea scum. They don't see the scum. They don't see those kind of clubs. What they see is a club that develops youth, that develop young talent. And what clubs have done that better than Leipzig and Salzburg? So you go to a guy who's been through that system, understands how to develop young players, is a players manager, is a players gaffer, and you go to him and you bring him over. And apparently they had a short list, well, a long list of 42 people to replace Bielsa. And Marsch was on that list. I heard that, the 49ers were going to take over and push Orta and Kinnear out, which that's been proven false. It's just a litany of terrible internet rumors. And a lot of it has to do, with the suspicion of American influence in sports. When you look at the premiership, no one wants us to be, no offense here. No one wants the Crankies to take us over, or anybody, or the Glazers, or anybody like that, because these people are sort of absentee owners. They're not really football fans. They just kind of own the club, and they look at it as an investment, and they get rid of it. The 49ers may turn out to be that way. I don't know. Maybe Rads ends up selling it. That could happen down the road. I don't know. But I'm just saying that the rumors that were circulating on the internet were complete and utter bullshit. So, you can take it for what it's worth, but that's the truth.
Yeah.
But like I said, I think I was expecting that. I was expecting.
Yeah.
But I do believe in the future. Here's what I think the 49ers want. I don't think you're going to see the 49ers invest in players. I think you're going to see the 49ers invest in facilities. So I think you're going to see like this massive development at Ellen Road, and that's going to sort of change everything. Because that's how you make money, right? In the United States, you make money with the luxury boxes and everything else. And that, to me, is a problem. I'm concerned about that because football traditionally has been a working man's sport. A working person's sport, I guess I should say. And people should be able to afford to go. I remember, I traveled all over, Britain watching football matches, following Leeds, and then just watching because I love the sport. And I never paid a lot of money. It was always really accessible. I was always actually shocked. I'm still shocked at how much season tickets are at Leeds compared to what I pay for the Saints. Saints tickets are ridiculous. They're outrageous. If Leeds fans knew what I paid or what we paid, my brother and I, for Saints tickets, they would be appalled.
James, I got free tickets to the Nets the other night. The Brooklyn
We used to have
Nets.
season tickets to the Nets.
So I got free tickets. So I go there and I'm like, so I usually don't drink at these things because it's ridiculous. But I was like, it was free. So I got 2 drinks. I got a cocktail and a beer. It was $50.
Yeah.
$50 for 1 cocktail and 1 beer.
Right.
And then I put my beer down and they do the frickin' national anthem and I'm like, I got to stand up and it knocks my beer down. So I lost half of it. I'm like, I hate free tickets. I would rather pay for it and then drink water.
I don't want to see that become an issue at Leeds. And I don't want to see us become that sort of Americanized. You know what I mean? So for me, it's I don't want to see people get priced out. I know I have friends in Leeds who feel very concerned about how things are changing there and how they're treating season ticket holders. And I don't want to see that sort of stuff happen, man. That's what I'm really worried about. With American influence, I'm not worried about players and managers. Marsch is great. There are a lot of young, really good American players now in Europe because they grew up in Europe. Right, they were brought up in Germany, they were brought up in the Netherlands, they were brought up in France or whatever, and have decided to play for the United States internationally, and they're all very good players. So I wouldn't mind getting a few of those guys. They're really good. So, I'm not worried about that influence. I'm worried about the influence on the fan experience. I'm worried about pricing our supporters out because that So, I mean, I'm in favor of safe standing, and I think I've made that perfectly
Yeah,
clear.
yeah,
I want to see the terraces come back. So for
yeah,
me, it's like, look, and have those be, I don't know, 15 quid or something. I mean, that'd be fine.
yeah,
I mean, I would stand in the terraces any day of the week. I mean, I never sit down at Leeds matches anyway, even when I'm watching it at home. I stand up and I
yeah.
pace the floor. So it's, I
Yeah,
mean, fuck it.
exactly. Well, good. We'll see what comes of all that. But do you feel that Jesse Marsch being here and the 49ers influence will get you a little bit, maybe not first choice, but easier access to some of the better American players that are out there?
I would hope so, especially the ones that, I mean, like Aronson. The ones who come up through the Red Bull system. I mean, I think that would be good.
Yeah,
And by the way, I guess a lot of Leeds supporters may not know this, but New York Red Bulls was a really good academy.
yeah,
Their
yeah,
acad their academy of all the MLS teams, probably top three or top four. They produce some really good young talent. The New York area is loaded with
they have an
with football
amazing
talent.
facility as well.
Yes, an
I've done some
amazing
shoots
facility.
there.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
So
It's better than the Giants in the Jets stadium
yes,
that
I
they
agree.
share.
I agree.
Um,
Yeah.
okay, so let's move on a little bit. Just quickly, Rafinha. I've heard stuff about him possibly wanting out, being on his way out, not wanting. Do you give any credit to any of that?
Look, I don't know. I mean, I'm kind of tired of the whole like KP and Rafinha being gone narrative. Look, if KP is not gone, I think KP stays.
Yeah,
Unless we get relegated, KP he is Leeds through and through. That guy is not going anywhere. I mean, he's living the dream. He's making a shitload of money playing for his childhood club. He's not going anywhere. Uh, I mean, I'm sure that he would love to play in Europe, and maybe eventually, as his career evolves, that may take prominence. But I think that Rafinha, I mean, Rafinha could be gone. I mean, he could be. But look, if we pay what 17 million quid for him, I mean, if we get 50 million quid, that's great business. I mean,
yeah,
that's I'm up.
yeah.
I look. I like Rafinha, but 50 million quid that buys us two, decent players,
All
maybe
right.
three.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you. And those things need to happen. Look, we support clubs, not players. We support the players clearly, but we support clubs. And
Players come and
same
go.
way, Marcelo
Managers come and go.
left as well.
Yeah.
So all right. So
Leeds
James,
United is forever.
let's take a look at your next four matches. You ready for that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do it. All right, your next four matches, April 2nd, we have Leeds versus Southampton. Week later, Watford lead. So that's Leeds are home to Southampton, and then
Yes.
Watford away,
Yes.
and then Crystal Palace away. So
Yeah.
2 weeks in London. Oh, that's a big. Is that a big gap? There's like 2 weeks in between those two matches.
Yeah, because of the
Oh, that's
Chelsea
the
match.
one you're
The Chelsea
missing.
match getting
Ah,
moved.
shit. Yeah, I
Fuck.
see.
Fucking FA, man.
Ah,
I'm
man.
not over it yet. I am not over
Is there
this.
any rugby at the time though? Because I know you like the Rhinos, right?
I do love rugby, so I may,
Yeah,
yeah, I may catch whatever's available. I don't know. I mean, I'll figure it
yeah.
out. I was even
So
contemplating going to a Huddersfield match, but I don't know. Going to see the dog bothers.
so Wayne Rids LUFC already took the question out of my mouth by answering it, and he says 9 points from the next four. Tell me how many points do you expect realistically, and then hopefully, or what are you thinking out of this? What are you thinking?
I
So we got 9
realistically,
points.
I
Scott
expect.
says 12.
Realistically, I expect 5.
5 points.
What
And
I
where
would
do you
hope
get those?
for, what I would hope for is 7. So that would be victories against Soton, Watford, with a draw at Palace, and City is That's I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Yeah. Yeah, Leeds Man City. I feel like that one, even though it should be a clear Man City win,
Mhm.
Man City seemed to play weird games against weird teams and then demolish the teams that you think it's going to be tighter on. So, yeah, I think I'm right there with you with 5. I'm going to say 5. I think you win one of these first 3 and you draw the other 2.
Yeah,
And I think Man City, I'm going to give it to Man City because I'm not crazy. But, hey, we saw what happened last year, right? So,
exactly. With 10 men, you know.
yeah,
So
yeah. So
whether we
let's
it
see what else we have here. Jimmy says 10 points. Jonathan says 2 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. That would be
so that's what I
7
figured too.
points.
Seven is ideal. I think 7 will be a really good series of results. We get 7 points out of these 4. I'm ecstatic.
Wow, 6 points there would be great. 4 is not the worst. 12 would be ideal, though. I like the way you're talking. Scott Newby, 12 points. Operation Piss the League back on. Okay. Con. Italy finally won in 6 Nations and a week later get knocked out of the World Cup. Oh, so sad.
I can't believe they won a match. Well, so apparently, I guess Scotland has lost the most to Italy in 6 Nations. I mean, Italy traditionally gets the wooden spoon, which is the last place side. So I was, yeah. I mean, I was astonished to see them win that match. I mean, it was shocking to me. But anyway, all right,
Yeah.
proceed.
Okay, so tell me, James, what needs to happen for you guys to go on a little bit of a tear and let's say win these next 3 matches? They're winnable. All 3 of these are winnable.
Yes. Well, except for City. Let's say
so the first 3.
City, let's put a question mark by City.
Yeah. So let's look realistically.
The other 3 are definitely winnable.
Yeah. So what needs to happen right now? Does KP need to get fit?
Yes.
Do we need to make sure Mellier's okay?
Yes.
Does Bamford need to be back? Does Rafinha need to kick on?
Yes.
All these things?
All of the above, man. All of the above.
I mean, talk to me about that.
Yeah. I mean, we need to get healthy. I mean, Rafinha just has COVID, or at least is out for COVID protocol. So
he has not been Rafinha. He has not been Rafinha for a month or so now.
I thought
I mean. He needs to kick on.
I thought he was fine against Wolves. I thought he was good against Wolves. I also thought that, yeah. I mean, I thought Leicester and Aston Villa, he was dire. I mean, I thought those 2 matches he was just not himself. After that, though, I don't know. I mean, I think you're starting to see glimpses, of Rafinha. I mean, look, if he has any aspirations of going to a bigger club, right, he's going to have to show something. I mean, and I think it behooves him to actually get out there and perform. I mean, all these players. Now, I think somebody who's really benefited from Marsch being there is Rodrigo. I mean, Rodrigo right now is playing some of the best football he's played since his time at Leeds. I mean, since he came to us, and because I never rated him. I mean, I always thought that, look, we wasted our money on this guy. I mean, you're talking about a 30-year-old or close to a 30-year-old Spanish striker. I mean, I don't know how this is going to, end up. And he's never been really he's a couple seasons that he's had in the past. He's scored some goals, but his time in the Premiership was brief. Thought he was with Bolton or whatever. And so I never rated him, but he's looked really good the past couple of matches, and I've had to eat my words a little bit. So I mean, I'm fine with that. I mean, look, I love being proved wrong. When I slate a player, I'm very happy, to be proven wrong in the end.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fine by me.
A couple comments here. Conche says Rafinha won the game against Norwich. Rafinha was a part of winning that game against Norwich. I got to say, Gelhardt winning that header and putting the ball into space. Huge. Yes, Rafinha did. But here's why I can give you some credit to Rafinha, yes, being a big part of that. Rafinha, at the beginning of the season, shoots. He doesn't run it to the touchline and cut it back. He shoots, but he was smart enough to know, I'm a little off right now, and there's an easier way to get this goal. We've got
Yes.
them on the ropes. I'm going to drag everyone because they think I'm going to shoot. And he cut it back. Gelhardt was right there. So for Gelhardt to jump to, first of all, he shouldn't be beating the center back to that header.
No.
And he did.
And he did.
Then
That's
he could have
jockey,
just
man.
hit it straight.
Jockey.
He could have just hit it straight in the air and then lost the second battle.
Right.
But he hit it into wide open space. Rafinha was on it. He was smart. And he went after it and he played it perfectly. So yes, he was a big part of that win. But I think Jaffe had just come on. He had just come on after you guys went down or were leveled. So yes, I hear what you're saying,
they were
Con.
preparing Shackleton to come on. I mean, Shackleton was getting ready to come on, and then it was like, now we're down. I mean, now it's put on Jaffe. It's a new game, you know.
Yeah. Yep.
So and so Jaffe
and
came
then,
on and made a difference, man. That's what he does. So
some comments on Rodrigo. Rodrigo is playing like he feels important. It's great to see. Yeah, I hear you, Mr. Tom. And 8563 Robbie says, yes, because he doesn't have to track back anymore. So maybe he's and he says, Rodrigo is quality, believe me. I agree. And maybe it is.
Yeah.
He's allowed to play more of his, I don't know what he's playing as, a false 9 or just a 9. I'm not sure with you guys anymore. You guys are always moving around the pitch. But I do feel like he's becoming a lot more active in the attack. So yeah, and I've been against Rodrigo since last season, so just not been impressed with him.
Yeah,
so
still not worth 30 million quid.
In cinemas.
I'm being realistic. I mean, that's 20, 30, no.
And once again, we know why they bought Rodrigo, right? We know why they spent that money. Was because they did not expect Bamford to be a Premier League striker. And he showed up. And then he's been injured. So, yes. So moving on from there, how have you found Dan James's performances as the season has gone on? Because I feel like he's somebody who puts in a shift every single time, just hasn't been getting a lot of the glory from it. But he's becoming a bigger and bigger part of the offense, of the team. Yeah. So how do you feel about Dan James?
Well, I think once he actually starts playing his position, I mean, I think it'll be much better. I mean, obviously he's not a striker. And I think he's been kind of unlucky in many respects as far as, hitting the woodwork a lot. But yeah, I mean, he works his ass off. I think that, I mean, look, I was not in favor of the purchase of Dan James. I will state that just for, I thought that was kind of a panic buy in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'd missed out on people. And so, Dan James was someone we had tried. We should have been with us earlier. And things fell through. Things didn't work out. And then, now it's like, let's return to Dan James. And he put in some good, good shifts with the scum. But, yeah, I mean, I think that, he works hard. I think once he returns to his natural position, I think he'll be fantastic. And it's just a matter of, like, what we do with the winger situation, who's gonna come in as the sub, and I think that Marsch has already decided that. I mean, I think it's going to be Harrison, right? Harrison's going to be the sub, and James and Rafinha are going to be the starters. And then once we get healthy and we have Bamford back in place and Rodrigo up there, so I mean, I think that's what's going to happen. But I like him. I mean, I think he's growing on me, but we'll see.
Yeah. Anybody else that you've been seeing through the hardships of this season has been shining?
Oh, well, Forshaw. I mean, Forshaw goes out there and plays his ass off. I mean, that guy is he's relentless, and he's all over the pitch. I mean, he's everywhere. And, so I would single him out. I mean, there's a huge surprise. I mean, coming off an injury, he hadn't played for a couple seasons. And then he comes in there and he's absolutely amazing. I mean, I think Forshaw right now is my player of the season. I mean, people may disagree with that, but yeah.
Yeah. It was upsetting seeing Melier get injured, and I hope he's okay, and I hope he's back because, listen,
Yeah,
it's hard. It's hard to look at a Premier League keeper, and let me just pull up this.
You know what? It's been scientifically proven, Lolo, that French skulls are an inch thicker than most normal people.
So let me just say, you guys have given up 67 goals. 67 goals, more than anybody else in the league.
Yeah.
And it seems weird to say.
Because our defense has been shite.
It seems weird to say that I feel like Melier is not having a bad season. I feel like he's actually saved some points here and there. 67 goals, and I'm saying the keeper has been good.
Yeah.
Yes, he's made mistakes. Yes, there's been mistakes. We all can look back at the John Joe Shelby bouncing ball. We can look at a couple near posts things. But what about the plethora of other shots that should have gone in that this tall, lanky bastard saves?
I mean, Norwich.
He keeps you in games.
The save on Pookie.
Yeah. So talk to me about Melier. I mean, you still happy with him? You hope he stays at Leeds for his whole career?
Oh,
what
I'm
are you
ecstatic
thinking?
with Melier. I think that he's a class keeper in every respect, and I think a lot of it falls on our defense. On the people in front of him. You're only as good as the people in front of you. As a keeper, and the people in front of him have been. A lot of injuries, a lot of times we had to play Ailing at center back. Obviously, KP's been out. It's been difficult for him, and he's been facing a lot of shots. Every match, and I'm talking quality shots. Not just shots from 25 yards out. I'm talking shots from 10 yards out. 8 yards out. So, yeah, in the mixer.
No, there's so many opportunities that other teams have had where you're like, that's a goal, and he gets a hand on it. And Scott Newby has a great point right here. There's not a goalkeeper in the world football Melier's age that is anywhere close to the potential he has. And I'll say it again. I said it last year, and I'll say it again. He is the future goalkeeper for France.
The best French goalkeeper since Barthez. I've said it. I'll say it right now.
Even better than the guys they have now, because there's competition in France. They have some good keepers.
Oh, yeah. Best French goalkeeper since Barthez.
All right, so let's talk about some of these kids there. We got a lot of shouts in the comments section for Cresswell. Where's the first one that I saw?
Cresswell is phenomenal, yeah.
Charlie Cresswell. Sorry, John and I found it at the same time. Charlie Cresswell will be the next star to emerge from our youth academy. He's solid. And then Jimmy says Cresswell is the captain and KP of the future.
Yep.
Robbie says Cresswell is something special. Joffe too. Gallard too. Let's look at these guys. So Adam Forshaw is not technically one of the youngsters, but he's a guy that you thought was dead, right? Like gone.
Right. Yeah. No, if you're going to ask me youngsters, yeah.
So let's talk about the young kids.
Yeah, it's Cresswell, it's Joffe. I think you're going to see, I think Somerville's gonna do something eventually. I think Drame is going to come back. I know that he left under, some criticism from Bielsa, but I don't think Marsch cares. He's down there in Cardiff. He's doing really well. So I think Drame comes back and is the heir apparent to Ailing. Ailing is going to be, 30, 31, coming up. So, the wrong side of 30. I love Bill, but, you got to think about the future. I think we have some great players. Archie Gray. The Grays. Leeds royalty.
And then Robbie says, I hear a lot about Bate, but never see him.
Oh yeah, Bate. Yeah, Lewis Bate. I feel the same way. I was impressed with him. He came in. He played that match with the first team. I don't. Yeah, I agree. I agree. I mean, but I expect good things from him too. I mean, I really do. This is what we are. I mean, this is what we're going to be. So people need to get accustomed to it. Is that we're going to be, we're going to develop our youngsters. We're going to, sell people like Rafinha and make money, and we're going to go out and buy, three more, players for the price that we sell them for. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
So we're gonna. I mean, like I said, for the foreseeable future.
Okay, guys. Well, we're getting into the last 10 minutes of the show the time that we have scheduled. So if anybody in the comment section, if you guys have questions for James, you want to hear his opinion on something, you want to hear my opinion on something, you can feel free to ask me as well. John's opinion.
I have no opinion.
Oh, you have a question.
Can I get a beer?
Yes. Bring one over to my house,
I would throw you
please.
a beer, John, if I could throw it to New York.
We keep telling John to get a keg in the kegerator. But
yes.
He's like, nah, not until it's warm enough. I'll drink it all. You guys won't drink it. We will. We will. So, James, while these questions start flowing in the comments section, I want you. I'm looking for a fiery James, classic James sort of little mini rant right now. I'm going to make you full screen and everything. But basically, I want to hear what James has been saying in his head and on Facebook and on everywhere else, and to anyone who will listen to you. Now's your time. Tell me what you want to say to all of these people who have something to say about your club, who know nothing about your club. The Agabalor or whatever his fucking name is, that dude, Gabi or whatever.
Yeah. So Lolo,
are you ready? You're ready?
Well, okay. Well, I want to tell you something real fast.
Okay.
So I was working the other day. An Englishman came in. They were talking. We started talking. They said, "Well, we just started chatting about football clubs." And I said, "Well, I support Leeds. I'll be there, in a month. I mean, I've loved Leeds for 35 years. They're my club. I mean, it's in my blood at this point." And he goes, "Well, you're going down." That's the first thing he fucking said to me. I said, had I not been at my job, well, it'd been rough.
He would have went down.
He would have gone down, my friend. Taking that motherfucker. He would have.
All right.
Had some problems.
Well, James, now's your time. You're not at your job. You're at this job that doesn't pay shit. So tell me what you would say to somebody right now who says that to you, who says, "Oh, you're a Leeds United supporter? You're going down." Let's hear it. Here you go. Here's your 5 minutes.
Look, we have faith in the club. Have faith in the club and in the direction it's going. Don't worry about all of these rumors about. Now, speaking to Leeds fans, don't worry about these rumors about Rafinha and KP and all the distractions. Right now, we need to keep our eyes on the prize, and the prize is staying up. And I think when looking at our schedule and when looking at the fixtures that the teams that are below us have, I think they're quite favorable. So, I think we're in good shape. And this nonce who came to me and told me that we're going down. They know nothing. They know nothing about the Leeds spirit. They know nothing about the players that we have and the fact that they are just indomitable. They're not going to succumb to this. So they're not going to allow it to happen. So right now, I'm probably more positive than I have been in the last couple of months that we're staying up. And I believe it's going to happen. And we'll see what happens next year. But I'm not concerned about that right now. So right now, it's one match at a time. And the fixtures are there. There are a lot of clubs that are there for the taking for us. So, yeah, I think we'll be fine. And let the doubters say what they will. I mean, I just don't have time for that bullshit. So, for me, let's go. Let's do it.
All right. I like that. And there was something Jesse Marsch said in an interview where he said, listen, it's not about surviving. It's about thriving. Yes, we need to survive, But that's not our focus. Our focus is not survival. Our focus is thriving with what has already been built over the past
Yes.
3-4 years. And
Bielsa
even
laid
longer.
the foundation.
And I love that he said it's not about surviving, it's about thriving. Because the teams that only hope to survive, do you really want to become Burnley? Do you really want to become Norwich? Norwich doesn't even worry about survival.
Yo-yo clubs?
Yeah. Aston Villa even at this point? Like, no, it's about, and as somebody just said, they were hoping that they'd be pushing for top 6. Yeah, Robbie, I thought we'd be pushing top 6. So do we. You guys had a ridiculous amount of injuries in the middle of the season, and it hampered you. And Marcelo Bielsa and everybody else was betting. It was a gamble, but they gambled on staying healthy for most of the season and spending all that cash next season in the summer. They were hoping for one more season of like let's just keep getting our Premier League legs. And without spending a shit ton of money, because that was a big thing. If you had spent all this cash in the summer, maybe you'd be in a different spot. But would they be Leeds? Would you still have the heart and soul of a Leeds team? I don't know. Those are all speculation. But for me, I think you guys are in a good spot if you don't get dragged into this relegation battle. So that being said, yes, it's not about survival. It's about thriving. You still got to survive, though. You got to survive the Premier League.
And I think, if you look at the Orta interview or you listen to the Orta interview, I think that's unfortunately where we're at is survival mode. At least, I mean, he said we're not the kind of club that's going to spend 150 million quid, and I mean, at least spend 100 million maybe. That'd be nice. Something.
Yeah.
But an 18-man squad with supplemented by 4 under-23s. I mean, I think that's the future for Leeds. I mean, I think we're going to be developing players, selling players, making a profit off of players, and then using that profit to go out and buy more players. Hopefully, I just don't know. I mean, the future, like I said, the future right now to me is Soton. I mean, beating Southampton. That's all I fucking care about. So I don't. I mean, I'm living this this whole end of the season run as fixture by fixture. I can't conceive of a future right now. I mean, I just want to stay up in the Premiership. I don't want to conceive of another of the Championship again. I just don't want that to enter my thoughts because, I mean, quite frankly, it's fucking depressing. So I mean, I just don't want to do it.
Well, and the Championship is it's, as everybody says, it's quicksand. It's not. You could be the best team. You could be the best team in the Premier League, and next season get relegated somehow. And it's not like you'll jump right back up.
Yeah,
it's a grind.
One of the most difficult leagues in all of Europe. One of the most difficult leagues in all of Europe is the Championship.
I mean,
it's a grind. It's a fucking grind.
Yeah. Well, guys, I hope you guys have enjoyed us, our little conversation. Please do hit the subscribe, hit the like, hit the share. And if you want to join up and get your name in green and get to use all of these cool emojis, please join the Stoop crew. And you get all sorts of cool things, and you get to be a member of an awesome little community. Go to onthestoopwithlolo.com and continue the discussion there. Join up there. You can buy merchandise. You can talk with James and me and Mark and Najee and everybody. And so go ahead and do that. And here's our last few minutes to get any questions in that you have for James on anything. Oh, and recommendations for curry shops and and Chippies. I don't know. What else do you guys do there?
Chippies. I know where to go for Chippies.
Okay, good. Jimmy wants us to start happy hour 26 hours early. It's not quite going to happen there, man. But James, I don't want to see you guys go down. I love having Leeds United in the Premier League. I think you guys have one of these classic fan bases that I love talking with Leeds fans.
We're the best.
Because there's just something about it. I keep going back to this where we
It's a
were
way of
doing
life, my friend. It's a way of life.
where I offered a Leeds fan. I said, "Who would you rather have, Reece James, Trent Alexander-Arnold, or João Cancelo?" And they said, "Easy, Luke Ayling." It's like, you're out of your mind.
Oh, Bill.
You're out of your mind. But that's Leeds United. And so we love you guys. And we'll, I got the shirt right there. I got my old Admiral right there. But guys, it's been great talking to you. James, any last words before we call it a day?
Just keep the faith, and it's going to happen. We're staying up. So just believe it's going to happen.
Awesome, man. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Stoop crew. Thank you all the new people who are watching. Please hit that like button on the way out, or the dislike if you didn't like it. I don't care. Interaction with it matters to
and of
us.
course, we all fucking love Leeds.
Yes, we do. So, James, have a great time when you're in Leeds. Let us know. We'll do some shows. And you guys can all meet up. I want to see these people's faces. And don't forget to join us tomorrow night. Tomorrow night for happy hour, 7 p.m. Eastern. I believe it's back to midnight in the UK. I believe they changed their clocks. We do a lot of banter, we trash talking, and then we do some fun trivia as well. So don't forget to join us on there. And if you want to be a part of the show, and if you want to call in and get your face on the show, make sure to hit us up on the website or Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that nonsense. So thank you guys so much. Man of the match, Mr. James, or possibly Director John. He's always up for man of the match.
John's the best.
But no. I love that one. Oh, you're muted. You're muted.
Beautiful.
I didn't mean to cut you off in mid-sentence, but I had to say that at least
You
once.
had to get it in there.
Right, because hopefully Mark will, his odds.
Oh, God. Like I said, the spawny one is not so spawny anymore.
Yeah. All right. Play us out, James. What do you say?
Leeds, Leeds, Leeds.